Biddly, 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 bo. Yes, yes, yo. Here we go. There ain't nobody down round here. You know what time it is. The cold's still kicking, but we've got to move back to get that badger in. Get that badger in and on and over here. We had to move back to get his greatness in. Got a few shout-outs to do. Oh, we're wobbling about all over at shop here. It must be an uncomfortable viewing. Shout out to Ming, Legendary MVG, Mark Bradley, CH, and 78 RPM. That's shout out to Ming, Legendary MVG, Mark Bradley, CH, and 78 RPM for the super chats last night live on the Underlap. Much appreciated everybody that tuned in and all that stuff. We are talking about potentially renting a box. Roller Blunt came up with a few ideas yesterday about towards the end of the season getting a box for. You know, I'm gonna look into it and see how many people we can get in there and all sort of chip in for one at last home games and have a riot. It'd be a right good laugh. But that's not why we're here. I just thought I'd mention it. It's still in the mind because although I was tipsy last night during the video, I was able to actually remember something for once. So it's been wrote down. It's been noted. Biddly biddly bo. Yes, yes, yeah. Quick shit vid. There's been some articles about potential postponement tomorrow. Obviously, there's this horrendous storm, isn't there? There's no plans of postponement, so apologies for the clickbait. We don't do clickbait over here. If something comes up, it must come out. But they're just saying there's a 90% chance of the game going ahead, but they reckon that trains might be disrupted, general transport, you know, I mean, you'd still be able to get a taxi, but if you're coming from further afield, potentially, you know, your train might get cancelled, which is shite, isn't it? But come rain or shine, I've no doubt that the game will go ahead. I don't even think we'll catch the worst of it, but the police are making plans that the game will not finish, and the stewards and all that stuff. If the rain does come and the winds pick up, can be up to 50 mile an hour or something apparently tomorrow. But I can't see it affecting us. And to be honest, it makes it into. I mean, it's probably the opposite of a cauldron because would a cauldron be warm? Is a cauldron when the witches are like boiling shit in there? But we do want it to be a cauldron up in this bitch, don't we, up in Ellen Road? So that I think adds to the spice. Archie Gray's back in town, and he got Big Thomas Frank, who's got off to a decent start for Tottenham. They're sitting, I think, in fourth in the league, got 11 points. We would actually potentially be matched on them had Goodmanson not had a guff, and we'd not dropped some points. Not that I deem Bournemouth as dropping points really, but you know, when you're 2-1 up in last minute, you know, it does feel that way, doesn't it? But Farke's got a really good record against Thomas Frank. Granted, that being said, from times gone by, you know, his times at Norwich, I don't think they've met for years, obviously because Farke has been doing different things, and so has Thomas Frank in Brentford, cementing them in Premier League, hasn't he? So he's not played against them since he were at Norwich. So I don't think the record really matters, but I know that they've got plenty of respect for each other, which I don't know if that means anything, or I think they both rate each other. They've both had nice things to say about each other in terms of the management style and all that jazz. I don't mind Thomas Frank, to be fair. I think he's got a few different ways of winning football games. I know he knows it's going to be difficult tomorrow because we are extremely competitive. They've just come off a Champions League game. They drew 2-2 with Bodo Glimt, where they were 2-0 down. Again, you know, I know that shows power of recovery to come back from 2-0 down at an away day in Champions League and Champions League. But, you know, still 2-0 down. They're still showing signs that they can be quite leaky at the back. There's obviously Big Ange has left quite the hole at Tottenham, and Thomas Frank's trying to fill it in. Also an underwhelming performance, a 1-1 with Wolves before that. They beat Doncaster, obviously in the Cup. A 2-2 draw with Brighton before that. 3-0 to Burnley, and then they beat City 2-0, but they lost to Bournemouth. So they've been a little bit, I don't want to say up and down and shaky, but they started really well with beating Man City, beating Burnley 3-0, beating them convincingly. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster for them, but obviously they are a good side, and it will be an extremely competitive game. I do believe, though, that we have the tools to actually get the job done tomorrow, and I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to get to the ground. I don't like the half-12 kickoffs myself, but now I don't work Saturday mornings. It's less daunting for me. I don't have to get in from DJing tonight at 5 in the morning, get up at 6 to go, you know, do a lot of bullshit in the morning and then get back and then scrambling to games. So I will have a little bit of time. I'm slightly unsure about the bars, at what time they open, because I know for the previous half-12 kickoffs, they keep it really stum, like at the Peacock and in the fan zone. They're sort of like a little bit underscript. So if anybody does know if the White Hart's opening, I'm hoping I've heard that the White Hart's opening at 11:30. And apparently the Peacock can be open from 9, but I'm not so sure that that's true. I know that the your bowl bar or whatever it's called sometimes can be open. So if anybody does know about the half-12 kickoffs, what time everything opens, because it does do my head in. You do want to have a pint before game, don't you, and just chill out. But yeah, I think we've got all the sorry, I'm getting texts. It's distracting me. I do think we've got all the tools to get the job done tomorrow. Super competitive. Hopefully, if it is a bit of a dreary day, get Longstaff, Stack, and Ampadu bang at it. Really competitive in middle at pitch. I fully back Struick, Strike. I fully back Rodon, Bogle, Goodmanson. We've got a good side. Obviously, Dan James has been. We've had the news that Dan James is out for 4 to 6 weeks, potentially up to 8 weeks. So that's not great. We're going to be reliant on Aronson to put in some hard yards and Okafor to maybe come up with that little bit of spice. Keeping DCL is going to be so keeping DCL fit is going to be so important this season, I think, or certainly in the lead up to January. And I thought it was excellent last week. If we could get 90% of the performance out of him that we got out of him for the Bournemouth game, but he nicks a goal, that'd obviously propel it to 150% of what he did last week. If we do get any chances tomorrow, we do need to snap them up, don't we? They've released a YouTube video with, clinical finishing, and they're all banging goals in left, right, and centre. I want to do a quick shout out to Darlow because Perry is apparently back in training, but he won't be available for tomorrow's game. I don't even think it's a question whether Perry should come straight back in, because I think Darlow's been excellent in the past couple of games. So I think it's Darlow's position to lose, and that's sort of confirmed with he's been nominated for the Save of the Month, which was a save against the best player in the world, that Kevin from Fulham, who's not played many minutes since. I want to just discuss be-all, the be-all and end-all. I was talking about it slightly on Underlap yesterday, and this idea that Farke sort of mismanages players and whether be-all should come straight into the side. And there was a large expectation that he does come straight into the side. I don't know who by, but we do this a lot with players, don't we? As a fan base in general, new player comes in, must play, must be better. I can't think of any genuine reason why you'd want to disrupt the back line or disturb the back line. We've been excellent this year defensively. Obviously, we took a spanking to Arsenal, which makes our goal difference not look so good. But that aside, that's not Struick or Strike's fault. It's not Rodon's fault. Perry may be a little bit weak at times in that game. But we've got the King Darlow in now, so we're not too bad. But yeah, I don't know why you'd want to disrupt that. And people say, no, but he deserves minutes, he needs minutes and all this stuff. I really don't want to be messing around with the centre-backs or, to be fair, the wing-backs. The longer we can keep Bogle and Goodmanson fit, I think we should just stick with it. Stick with Darlow. I think we're strong at the back. And Stack, Longstaff and Ampadu, for me, the three in there are absolutely immense. There's some talks that Tanaka will not be happy with these lack of minutes if we're getting towards January and we're sticking with Stack, Longstaff and Ampadu. I've said it a million times before and I'll say it a million times more. But same for be-all. His opportunity, these lads' opportunities will come within the games. The players will get injuries. Struick, Strike is not shy of an injury, truth be told, so he will probably get injured, and then be-all will come into the side. As for that Bornal fella, I'm not so sure he gets in. To be honest, he might be a Schmidt type character. I don't mean in terms of playing style or in terms of personality or even as a footballer, if he's any good or not. I just think he'll struggle to potentially get anywhere near the starting lineup. The thought of both Rodon and Struick Strike getting injured at the same time, touch wood, doesn't happen. There is some wood here that I've just touched. I think one is unlikely, and two, I'd even edge towards him going with Gruev in the defensive midfield role and then putting Ampadu into the back line if there was both to get injured, purely on the basis that I don't think my man Faki Fucker would want to switch stuff up to hardcore. I don't think he'd want to go with a brand new partnership at the back. I think he'd want be-all in place of Struick, Strike, and then if Rodon got injured, I think he'd go with Ampadu, genuinely just to keep a little bit of team cohesion. And then you can bring Gruev in, who has played minutes in the Premier League this season and looked good. So yeah, my head says it's going to be very difficult tomorrow, because I think Tottenham do bring the idea of a top 6 team to Elland Road, don't they, tomorrow? But they was terrible last year. Thomas Franks turned it round a little bit with, as I say, with different ways to play. They're not just one way with Big Ange. Big shout out to Big Ange as well, to be fair, because obviously they play Newcastle on Sunday. So it'd be interesting to see how he gets on, see if he plans to get his first win. because I know I get pelters every left, right, and centre all over Twitter and sometimes on here. With my football knowledge and all that stuff. So I'm trying to learn on the job, and I appreciate Big Ange is an immense manager. It's just interesting to know when he wants to get that first win. Because I trust the process. You've got to believe in the process, haven't you? But it's just interesting to know when Big Ange thinks he's actually going to strike and get that first win. I'm not rushing it. Long may it continue. I want Newcastle to absolutely batter Notts Forest. Let's drag them down. Big Ange gone by Christmas, I truly do believe. All jokes aside, I think the bloke's absolutely pony. And I actually want to utter, I can't remember if it was Jamie O'Hara or Cundy, I think it was Cundy, who said, why is he even called Big Ange? He's not even big. So, and it's the media, man. The media is so powerful in it with these types of people. If he was an American, he would be laughed out the door. I thought Australians were more into like rugby and that. I thought he shouldn't be coaching, England rugby side or something. Wouldn't that suit him better? Because the way he doesn't look up. It's funny in his press conference yesterday when they got beat again to fucking some shit, some Milliland or something they got beat to. He was saying that we just got to keep his heads up and that. And the whole interview was going like this. And he goes, we've just got to keep his heads up. And then every comment just says it's who we are, mate. And it cracks me up to no end. But yes, tomorrow, I'd love it if we could shut them out. I'd love it if we beat them and a clean shutout. But I do think that they're good for a goal. So I'm going to stick with my 2-1 predictions. And then when I get there tomorrow, I'm going to go 3-1 minutes before I go, fuck it. Let's have a 3-1 here. Let's get them spanked up. I do think we can get a win tomorrow. Honestly, I'm not delusional in terms of, I know that games can get away from you pretty quick in the Premier League. And if we don't get off to a good start, if they get a little bit of luck and sort of stun the crowd, which I do, I'm going to call out Ellen Road right here, right now. I did after the game at Bournemouth when we went 1-0 down. We were too quiet, guys, and we need to keep that energy up. Keep loud and proud at all moments. Not just when we're scoring, not when we're playing well. It has to just be barmy army, done it in there. But yeah, what does everybody reckon? I'm going 3-1. Changed my mind already. Only 3-1 if we score first. If they score first, I fear for Leeds United tomorrow. If we score first, I think we've got a proper solid chance. Biddly bo, yes, yo. Appreciate every which one of you. Keep liking, subscribing. It really helps the channel and all that stuff. In a bit, everybody. If you're about tomorrow, I will be about having a few slush puppies in a bit.
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.